Let's get started. Hello to everyone. Today I want to talk a little bit about what blockchain actually is. We look at some terms, we look at some characteristics, and we look a little bit at the mechanics of a blockchain. This introduction to blockchain is intended to be rather generic, with some references to Bitcoin, as it is the most popular blockchain. Terms. We often hear blockchain or cryptocurrency, digital token or digital asset. Basically, they all mean the same. Blockchain is a rather technical term with inherent description of the rough concept of the technology used. Cryptocurrency or digital token is often used for blockchains which tend to have a paying use case. Examples are Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, etc. Digital assets, on the other side, usually refers to something which can be seen as an asset, similar to gold or property. One example is XRP. So, what does a blockchain basically do? Well, to keep it simple, it keeps track of something. That could be information, an asset, or even applications, sometimes called smart contracts. But how does a blockchain work? Well, let's look at this image. Basically, there is a person trying to do a transaction. That transaction is submitted to the network with all the nodes. They validate and confirm, and they add it to the next block, thus becoming a blockchain. The transaction in that case would be a transfer of a security, but it could be anything. Could be keeping track of your health, state, data, whatever. What problems does a blockchain solve? Basically, each blockchain tries to get rid of the middleman, or whom we need to trust, because basically we trust everyone in the network, and blockchain commonly tries to solve the double spend problem. Now let's take a look at the problem it's trying to solve, removing the middleman. Imagine you're in a shop, you're trying to buy something with your ATM card, or to pay for it. Basically, you trust that your bank keeps a proper balance on your account so that you can use the ATM card properly. We intrinsically trust the bank to keep our bank account up to date, and that no money is lost. We kind of trust the bank under all measures, that she takes all measures to make sure the information on our balance, on our account, is not lost. Lost could mean stolen by a hacker, burnt in a fire, or whatever. In a blockchain, however, this trust we bring towards the bank, or this middleman, this intermediary, is not required. The mechanism is such that all nodes together kind of confirm and validate a transaction. And thus there is no middleman needed, because the mechanics of the blockchain takes care of the actual trust part. Now, the second problem, preventing the double spend. Let me give you an example. In the old days, when you were a baker making bread, you went to the butcher, gave him a bread, received a piece of meat for it, but that very same bread you couldn't give to the painter to paint your wall, because you had given it to the butcher already. Now in the electronic days, this is a little bit different. because there's just numbers on a computer, on a ledger being exchanged. So how do we trust that a specific item or asset is not exchanged twice? This is usually done via consensus mechanism, a kind of confirmed and sealed by the mining process. After that, the ledger with the new block is being updated for everyone to see. So all participants, all nodes in the network agree on the new balance or new information about you or something after that transaction. We also should mention that not all blockchains use mining for validation and confirmation, but let's stick with this for the time being. So in our example before, so the next time you try to spend the same amount of the same amount for buying something, all the nodes will check the public ledger and see, hey, your balance is low, there is no money left to pay for that item you want to buy, and the transaction will be invalidated or cancelled. Now, what exactly is mining? There are basically two different kinds of mining commonly known. One is called the proof of work, and the other one is called the proof of stake. In the proof of work, they basically try to solve a puzzle or a mathematical problem. In the proof of stake, it's a little bit different. There, the creator of a new block is determined in a deterministic way. XRP, as an example, is pre-mined. Consensus, the mechanics for confirming and validating transactions, makes XRP one of the fastest blockchains, and XRP uses significantly less energy compared to other blockchains, like Bitcoin as example. What is a node? A node in a blockchain network is a powerful computer that helps to keep the blockchain running and the ledger up to date. Anyone could basically run a node. That's why we call blockchains usually decentralized. Usually the nodes group outstanding transactions into blocks and add them to the blockchain. That's why it's called blockchain. How do they do this? I mentioned it before. They try to solve a complex mathematical puzzle and include the answer to that puzzle in the block. The puzzle needs solving. The puzzle that needs solving is to find a number. When this number is combined with the data in the block and passed through a hash function, the result of that hash has to be within a certain range. But that's much harder than it sounds now, explained very simplistically. This number is called nonce, which is a concatenation of number used once. But how do those nodes solve that puzzle? Well, they just guess at random, because it's basically impossible to calculate or predict. And that's why those miners use so much energy, because the longer the particular blockchain exists, the harder these puzzles will be, the longer it will take to basically guess the proper number which makes the next block created. The first miner to get a resulting hash within the desired range announces its victory, yay, to the rest of the network, and all miners stop immediately to work on that particular block. As a reward, the victorious winner gets usually a token. In the Bitcoin blockchain, a Bitcoin or part of a Bitcoin. In my video, in the description, I will link the document I have created. In my next video, I will talk a little bit about the use cases of the different blockchains, and with that I basically wish you a nice day and enjoy.